Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Tuesday edition of Video Clips. It is a beautiful Sunday here, and I have all the windows open. So if you hear birds or children or noise or trucks or planes or whatever, that's what's going on at my house. So anyway, just a couple of announcements. First of all, remember the microbiome camp is boot camp is just a couple weeks away. And this one will be about your microbiome. We're going to focus on the gut microbiome, even though you have a skin microbiome and a lung microbiome and a mouth microbiome and one in your eyes, and every part of your body has its own microbiome. But we're going to focus on the gut, and we're going to focus on the use of probiotics to fix a damaged gut and some specific guidelines for buying probiotics, like if you're recovering from taking an antibiotic, this is what you ought to do, and so on and so on. So anyway, that's coming up on the 26th. The weekend after that, the 29th and 30th, I think it is, of October, is the weekend boot camp that is all about shaping up for winter. And then all kinds of tangential issues. In addition to not letting yourself go through the winter, I want to talk about, protecting yourself from disease, viruses, bacterial infections, what to do if you get one. I want to talk about time management. People say they don't have time to take care of themselves. I'll come back to that in just a couple minutes here. I want to talk about that because everybody has time to take care of themselves. It's a matter of just deciding that's what you're going to do. And many other related topics. Okay, so the criteria to take that boot camp, you can pay for it if you want to, or you can buy 6 months of our smoothie supplies. It'll get you doing something you ought to be doing anyway, which is having our smoothie for breakfast. I've been doing it every day for months, or for years rather, years, a couple dozen years actually, more than that maybe. And I credit that along with a whole lot of other things to for my good health. And then last but not least, our conference is coming up November 12 through 14. We are sold out for in-person tickets, but some people are deciding that cross-country flying is not what they want to do. So you may be able to get yourself in line for an in-person spot, and we are going to stream it, and we are going to post the videos on a platform. So everybody who wants to can hear these fabulous speakers that we have planned. And you can go to our website at wellnessforumhealth.com and look at the conference flyer and all of the information about the weekend. Okay, so with that, I want to talk about cancer. I've been talking about cancer on the Tuesday videos because we are in the middle of our Defeat Breast and Prostate Cancer campaign, which we do every year. And we do the breast cancer every year. This is our first year for prostate cancer because we wanted to include the guys. And I said I would get to this issue of time to take care of yourself, and I will. But what I want to talk about today first with regard to cancer is comments from last week's video regarding alcohol consumption and cancer risk. A lot of you emailed me and said that you had no idea that there was such a strong connection. And also that the last 18 months your drinking had increased, which it has for a lot of people. And you were really motivated to address that right now, which I think that's a great idea. Drinking too much alcohol and finding the cancer early is not a good idea. Reducing the alcohol and not developing cancer is the best idea. And the reason I say that is so much of the cancer awareness programs are all geared toward eat, drink, and be merry, but find it early through screening tests and things of that nature. I want you to be merry, but I want you to be merry while eating and drinking healthy stuff, okay? Back to the smoothie, right? Less alcohol, more smoothie mix. There's a lot that you can do to reduce the risk, even aside from the alcohol thing: adopting an optimal diet, losing weight, not smoking, having treats on holidays and birthdays instead of all the time. I mean, I say to people all the time, you're living on a birthday party diet. You're having a birthday party Monday through Sunday every single week. And so eating real food instead of processed food. But here's another often overlooked strategy. We don't talk about this enough, and to reduce the risk of cancer. And that is, if you've already been diagnosed with a chronic disease, do your best to get rid of it. Now, here's what I mean. This study was done a while ago. I think it was in 2017 or 18. over 400,000 patients. And what the researchers reported is having markers for cardiovascular disease like high blood pressure, high cholesterol, markers for kidney disease like proteinuria and glomerular filtration rate, GFR, pulmonary disease, gouty arthritis, and diabetes increase both the risk of developing cancer, but also significantly the risk of dying of cancer. The effect was dose dependent. The more abnormal the markers, the more serious the disease, the higher the risk, with the highest levels associated with over twofold increased risk of cancer and fourfold increased risk of death. That is really significant. Together, these markers and conditions contributed to over 20% of all cancers and 38.9% of all cancer deaths. Now, to put this in perspective, this is comparable to the risk associated with all 5 major lifestyle risk factors combined, which includes smoking or a history of smoking, not enough physical activity, not enough fruits and vegetables, alcohol consumption, and obesity. And the 2 markers that were associated with the highest risk were total high cholesterol and proteinuria. Those were the strongest predictors of cancer risk. Researchers note that chronic disease is not commonly identified as a risk factor for cancer, and resolving chronic disease is not listed as a target for prevention. They say that failure to do this is a missed opportunity, and concluded, quote, recognizing the substantial reduction in lifespan and increase in cancer risk associated with non-cancer chronic diseases could be used as a teachable moment to stimulate motivation for better management of such disease. I totally agree. And over the years, I have had so many people with cancer who are quite surprised by their diagnosis. They often consider themselves healthy and they think they are, quote, doing better than others they know. Their opinions about their health status seem to be pretty disconnected sometimes from reality. They're often overweight, have a lot of medical history, they take or have taken several medications. Perhaps this is due to the fact that being overweight and being medicated have been normalized in our society. And so, you know, the good news in all of this is that cancer is a highly preventable disease. You can't prevent all cases of cancer. And but you can reduce the risk as much as humanly possible by taking care of yourself. So if you have high cholesterol, if you're you know, trending toward diabetes, if you're carrying extra pounds, do something about that now rather than waiting until you have your wits scared out of you because of developing cancer. And this brings me to the time thing I mentioned earlier. People say they don't have time to take care of themselves. Well, a person who is circulating pledge cards, back to our cancer campaign, you get $100 if you sign a pledge card that you'll take better care of yourself. And you get another $100 if you get 25 people to sign up and pledge to take better care of themselves as well. And you can use those coupons or gift certificates toward our courses, which are pretty fabulous. I teach a lot of them, and I think they're pretty good. I work real hard to make them interesting. But anyway, somebody who was circulating pledge cards got an email back from somebody who looked at the pledge card and said, well, I don't have time to work on reducing my body fat right now. I just don't have time. And here's something to think about. I mean, everybody has to make up their mind what they're going to spend time on. And I contend you can fit it all in. I mean, this last year and a half has been pretty stressful for me, as many of you know. And it's been a time to turn out more work than I've ever turned out probably in my entire lifetime. And I still find time to run and go to yoga classes and eat well and that sort of thing, because that's the only way I'm going to survive this thing and not kill myself doing it, right? But here's what I say to somebody like this. If you are diagnosed with cancer, you will somehow find the time to get treatment. I mean, I have never met anybody who was diagnosed with a significant disease, particularly cancer, who said, well, I'm just too busy. You know, the kids are playing soccer and I've been working a lot of overtime at work, or, you know, we're remodeling our house. I mean, when people have cancer, they find time to get treatment. And if you can visualize yourself finding time to get treatment for cancer, I will bet that you can visualize yourself figuring out how to not get cancer in the first place. So just some food for thought. Again, we all have to make up our own minds about this, and it's not my job to swoop in and force you to do something you don't want to do, but just think about your priorities. And I contend you can find the time to do anything that you really, really feel strongly that you want to do. All right, well, That's all for today. As usual, pass this on to anybody who you think would enjoy watching it. And I will be back to you tomorrow with more news on other platforms. And if you want to subscribe to all the rest of the stuff I do, then send me an email at pampopper@msn.com. Thanks for watching.